Hello, everyone, and welcome to Analytical Fanboys, the Modular Media Weekly Media Club podcast. I am one of your hosts, the Modular King of the Content Ring, the Vacuuminator, and I'm joined, as always, by the highly rated Boingo Rider.
Meltzer gave me 7 stars.
Yeah, you make good matches sometimes. Hey, guess what? The coolest toy collector in the Sunshine State is also here. It's Snowcone83.
I buy toys for a living.
Not yet. You're not making money off of videos yet on reviewing them.
When you are, you should put that on a shirt because that's a hilarious catchphrase.
It's my living. I can't live without toys.
He needs the plastic to function.
That is an existence.
So let's get into some This Week in Modular. What's up, boys? What you got going on? What have you been doing creatively?
I've just been working on a video. I had a script and I recorded the audio for it. And as soon as I finished the recording of the audio, I was like, I wasn't happy with that script. I want to punch it up some. So I punched it up some, then re-recorded. Now it's edited and I just need to EQ it and start making a video.
Nice. That's some workflow shit. Cody, did you get anything at all done?
I got more work done.
Okay.
I'm trying to figure out a good part to interject my week, but we can continue.
All right. Well, I have just been posting on Instagram a lot. I've been doing a lot of that. Been showing photos of the Lightning Collection Beast Morphers Blue Ranger, and that seems to be going over really well. His actor actually liked the photo I posted of him as a Blue Lantern, which was nice. Oh yeah, I put out my first actual toy review in the Vac Shack. I've been dancing around it for a good long time, and I decided, hey, let's pay off a debt long due, and I reviewed Generations Warpath. As I continue to spiral into madness, I am also finally following up on that promise I made Kali Shoka almost 9 years ago. It's a good video. I like it. I'm proud of it. It's definitely the most edited toy review I've done thus far. Was very careful about certain music choices and things like that. And I'm happy with how it turned out. What can I say? However, I also have no idea what I'm doing next because I had planned to do a first impressions video on the AEW figures this week, but I couldn't fucking find them. So I'm probably just going to walk into the Vac Shack tomorrow and grab something randomly to do a backup plan on.
Do a 1-minute review where because you already have the ring. You just set up the ring, goes like, hey, I'm going to be talking about the AEW figures. And you just take a photo, go to the ring, go like, I don't have any yet. And to just let the camera stay on for a minute and then cut the video off.
No. I review one of the Elite Collection Matt Hardys and I'm like, guys, I got a prototype from Wave 5. Yeah, that's what all I've been up to this week creatively. So let's go ahead and move on to our main topic, which was put on the list by Mr. Chris Gaston. It is the anime classic Lupin the Third, The Castle of Cagliostro. Sorry about that. Which happens to be the first anime movie Hayao Miyazaki directed. And this was my first time viewing it. I don't know about the rest of you guys, but let's go round robin, give some basic thoughts on it, starting with Chris, since it was his submission.
This was my introduction to Lupin the Third. I love Lupin the Third. This is probably like right up there in some of my favorite Miyazaki films. And considering Porco Rosso is my favorite Miyazaki film, you start to understand what I like from Miyazaki.
Mm-hmm. You like the warm-hearted action adventure shit.
Yeah, but give me like weird planes and like pulpy adventure and give me like an asshole protagonist who has a heart of gold. Cody?
Well, The first time I watched this film was about probably like a month ago. Randomly, for whatever reason, I think it was just on one of the streaming apps I have, and I was just like, "Yeah, sure, it looks neat." And I absolutely loved it. Fell in love with the movie. It's fucking wonderful. And upon my second rewatching, guess what? Still love it. It just makes me happy. It just makes me really nice.
Yeah,
Happy.
man.
Words.
This was my first time with the movie, and I am kicking myself. This is my first time with anything Lupin. Like I haven't even seen Lupin Ranger yet. But this was my first time with it, and I'm kind of in love with this movie. It's it's literally the kind of shit I would fantasize about, like a perfect adventure guy life for myself when I was a little kid. Like this is like the ultimate hero archetype for little kids, is just swooping in, trying to do a cool thing, getting mixed up in a bunch of shit. Lady falls in love with you and you say, I gotta move on to the next town. You find somebody who will actually settle down with you, and you leave, and you're the fucking coolest guy ever. And all the fucking every shot in this movie is beautiful and comfy. Even the chaotic action shots, I'm just like, I'm slowly like melting into my pillows and going like, yes, this is beautiful, it's good, I like it. It like, I'm sure he'd done a lot of work in other departments on animation before this, but for a first outing for the Miyazaki, this is like proof that he was always destined for greatness.
If I remember right, this was his first film directorial debut. He had worked on the Lupin III television anime before this. He had also worked on Sherlock Hound, and I'm pretty sure there was like another anime that Miyazaki had hand in before this, where he like did like in all of those he did animation, he did a little bit storyboarding, directing, all that kind of like mishmash. I think this was, but yeah, that's generally how it came to be. So he had worked on Lupin before, and this was just kind of like, all right, cool, you know what you're doing.
Yeah. I don't even know where to start with this, because it's just like everything in this movie perfectly flows together, and
But you also can see like all the little building blocks that would eventually make a Studio Ghibli film.
Yeah, it's very much got that classic Ghibli aesthetic of kind of World War II, but kind of heightened fantasy. Um, a lot of the characters are like quiet, reserved, and calm, but occasionally will just get really passionate about their feelings for one another. And the bad guy is a complete bag of dicks.
And other than the Lupin characters, everyone looks like a Miyazaki character.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, I love how the princess literally just looks like a prototype of Kiki. Like, did anybody else get that?
Yeah, I can see that.
It's like, oh, you just make her shorter and change her hair color.
But
I don't know. One weird, unrelated thing that I love about this is being able to recognize some of the guns they sprinkle out throughout. I mean, who cares? But like, whatever. There's like the bad guys are using PPSHs. It's funny to me.
No, Miyazaki is like weirdly into technical shit, so he probably wanted you to be able to recognize that kind of thing.
Yeah, and Lupin III is well known for, I think, using a Walter P90. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But he's well known for using a specific type of gun.
Yeah, like you said, like the tech. That's what I love about this animator. Just like every time I see something, every time he does something with there's a model kit series out about like just tanks that he's like designed and stuff like that, and they look fucking ridiculous. But you have to paint them, but I don't know, man. Like, there's just something so like feel good about the music in this movie, about Just like the overall vibe.
Yeah, and I love how like a lot of the Lupin characters, because this is tying into a TV show that was going on at the time. I love
Several TV
how
shows. I'll explain Lupin the Third and how all that kind of
no,
stuff works in a
I
bit.
know how insane that franchise is. Don't worry.
Oh yeah.
But like none of the characters like need a proper introduction. It's just this person is there, and by like 2 or 3 beats into the first conversation they have with another cast member, you understand their pre-established relationship. Like I love the relationship Lupin has with the I'm forgetting his name, the guy in the black suit.
Oh, Daisuke
Um,
Jigen.
yeah, they like have this perfect. Okay, it's clearly one of them is the boss, but they also have a lot of respect and love for one another, and they're willing to goof around about like who's supposed to do what. Um, and like when you realize that Fujiko is Fujiko and she runs into Lupin, it's like immediately you get that they have this kind of Catwoman Batman relationship of we're never actually going to get together, but we're going to constantly tease each other.
This is probably the best way to introduce anybody to Lupin the Third. Like you try to get anybody in like one of the older anime, they're just gonna go like bleh. They bounce off of it. Especially because 90% of the time, Lupin and his friends are dicks to a lot of people. Like they're fun, they're goofy, they're like, yeah, you get them and you enjoy them, but they're still criminals, they're still thieves. They will still like stab a person in the back to get what they want.
Oh nope, lost it. Somebody else go.
But like this movie presents them all as pretty like cool and heroic, and it's just like it's a good way to get someone interested in the character, and then you go like, yeah, watch this, and you go like, oh cool, they're doing more like genuine thievery.
Yeah, it comes off like a group of Robin Hoods rather than I can't think of another famous group of thieves that are like blatantly dickheads.
Or you could always go with Lupin's grandfather, Arsène Lupin.
That's fair. I do like one thing I found hilarious about this movie is there is a flashback to a younger Lupin when he first met the princess, and he looks the exact fucking same. And I realize that's an anime thing of like you don't show age unless it's a character getting extremely old. But I saw that and I just went, "Oh, Lupin's a Time Lord." Okay.
You're not wrong.
No.
Yeah, because the jacket thing, right?
Yeah, there's an entire made for like TV movie OVA kind of thing called Red versus Green, where the best way to put it is Lupin the Third is kind of dying, and then all of a sudden 1,001 Lupins in different colored jackets are going like, no, I'm Lupin, and are fighting each other until one guy who we've been following the whole movie, who hasn't been Lupin, who was kind of a sad sack, he kind of slowly became Lupin, won, and he runs into Daisuke Jigen and Goemon, and they go like, oh, sweet, Lupin, you're here, let's go.
It's an OVA series or a fan-made OVA series?
No, it was made by the people who make Lupin. It was, I can't remember if it was made for a TV movie or if it was like an OVA kind of thing.
But basically, they did Kamen Rider Decade.
Yeah, hold on. But like, it was really good, and that was like honestly, it shouldn't have been, but that was like my second thing of Lupin.
Well, the reason why I watched this movie out of curiosity originally is because one of my favorite Lupe Fiasco songs references Lupin the Third.
Really?
Yeah, like direct, like there's like a couple bars about it, and I was always like, as a younger person, I was like, I wonder what that is, because he also raps about other things I like just general shit. I mean, if you ever get the chance to check out Lupe Fiasco, he's fucking great, but just I don't know. I saw the title and I was like, so that's what that is. Let me give it a try. Looks pretty interesting. I'm interested in the new movie too.
Basically, if you guys are liking Lupin the Third, I would suggest kind of avoiding the old anime because it's very episodic.
I know there was a new show a couple of years ago that I heard was pretty good, but I never jumped on it.
Yeah, the newer anime is really well animated, really well designed, beautifully done, and it's just Lupin the Third.
Oh, the bad guy in this movie kind of looks like Griffith.
He does! Oh my god! He's like Griffith with a more masculine physique.
Something about his face makes me uncomfortable too, just like the stretchiness.
But he's like a creep, so it kind of makes sense.
He looks like a Japanese Kappa.
Oh, I can see that, yeah.
Yeah.
I also, there's just some incredible fucking bits of animation in this movie that, again, showing Miyazaki's talent very early on. The bit where he, pole vaults from one castle turret to another, that is some serious Sakuga shit. And I mean, the car chase, it's, from what I hear, it's fucking iconic. And almost every shot in it is great.
Steven Spielberg said it is the best car chase put to film ever.
Damn.
It is genuinely one of the best car chases because you can follow the action, it all makes sense, and every bit of it works for the scene itself.
That's not wrong.
All the action scenes in this is great. It's great. It's Lupin.
The design of the copper or the chopper, chopped helicopter, whatever.
The gyrocopter thing.
Yeah, all of that stuff is really fun to watch being animated. But I think one of my favorite things about this movie, and my favorite what would you call it, sequence, is when him and the inspector are in the dungeon underground. Just because I like anytime rivals have to team up, and I also really like how at the end of the movie the inspector's like, well, he did steal something, your heart, and that's just so nice. I don't know, it's cool.
That's very much a classic movie moment.
Oh yeah. And Zenigata is one of the best part. Lupin the Third would not work without Zenigata. You have to have him there to kind of be that counterbalance. Yeah. And in this is one of the best versions of him because he does work with them a little bit. He understands Lupin's a thief, but he's not a dick, and I'd rather work with a thief than an asshole.
Also, a lot of parts in this movie remind me of Bloodborne, and I wonder if it didn't inspire it.
How so?
Just the dead crit. I mean, it's kind of hard to say that this was the castle thing because there's been other castle things. It's just the way some things are lit, the way some things look.
I can definitely see the assassins being a Bloodborne, Soulsborne kind of bad guy.
But I don't know. And also the inspector kind of reminds me of I guess he's the bad guy from fucking Jet Set Radio.
Yeah.
They have the identical fucking stormtrooper dudes.
I also just because we briefly kind of brushed over her, I do really like how the princess isn't just a one-dimensional trophy for Lupin and the other characters to fight over. She actually has a fair bit of dimension to her, and just the various ways she tries to resist what's being done to her on her own, especially during that wedding scene where she's just has this fucking dead-eyed, lips shut expression of I'm going through with this, but I ain't saying jack shit to any of you, y'all fuckers.
And actually drugged.
I think she might have been.
Hmm.
And then Lupin knocks her out of it. But also, you gotta Fujiko Mine, she's there complete, like, having her own adventure, and it's not like any damsel in distress. She's like a very important part of the whole plot.
Yeah, and that's the other thing that's so impressive is it very could have been like, here's the sweet pure girl and then here's the badass ass kicker girl, but like they both kind of have little bits of both characterizations to them.
Especially because Fujiko Mine helps Zenigata bring down the counterfeiting operation.
Mm-hmm.
One of my favorite exchanges in this movie is also between Fujika and the princess. Just because I like how like natural and at the same time like unnatural because I'm not used to seeing stuff like it, at least to my knowledge. Or like Fujika's like, she's like, you're not starting to love him, are you? Or she says something along the lines of like, oh, it seems like you're starting to love him, and then she's immediately like, I think you love him. And like that's just neat because like again that adds dimension to like both characters because like in any other movie you'd never have like the princess person say some shit like that. I mean, but that's like some human shit. Like that's cool.
And it also works for both those characters as a way of having them assess each other because in that moment Fujiko is trying to warn her off and the princess is trying to get defensive of her territory.
Yeah.
And Fujiko is also like establishing for the audience, hey, this story, she's not the love interest. Because, like, depending on the story of Lupin the Third, she kind of is, she isn't. It's an on-off thing for the characters.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like a good, like, hey, by the way, she's in the thing. Shh, Lupin's not trying to get in her pants this time. Got it? Good.
Yeah. Like, all the characters in this movie are pretty well fleshed out and like feel like real living people, which is a real accomplishment for a 90-minute animated excuse me, a 90-minute animated film. And like the only real complaint I could have as far as the cast goes is Goemon. I felt like he was extremely one note in the movie, but also like this isn't even remotely his story.
Yeah. And like it's really interesting how well they get characterization for like most of the cast because you're supposed to go into this movie knowing who Lupin, Daisuke, Goemon, Fujiko, and Zenigata all are. You're supposed to already have a basis of knowledge of who these characters are, but they still do brilliantly establishing everybody. So if this is your first time watching Lupin, no, you get it.
Yeah. And getting back to Zenigata for a moment, I love how he has that whole third act, like end of the second act moment of trying to go to his higher ups to get reinforcements and being taken off the case and then deciding to go back anyway, just because like that's a perfect way to establish that, to use modern terms, he's not a pig. Like this guy did not join the police to enforce the law. This guy joined the police to do what's right.
Yeah.
And there is a difference.
And the cool thing about Zenigata is, in all the Lupin stories, he never catches Lupin. So you think, oh, he's a shitty detective. He can't get his guy. They made a spin-off just for Zenigata where he's solving crimes and always gets the guy to go like, yeah, no, he's a great detective. He just can't catch Lupin because he's that good.
Nice.
But like these characters are like, I don't want to say they're the default archetype for a lot of Japanese media, but like if you have a gentleman thief, they're in like manga or anime, they're gonna reference Lupin.
Yeah. I mean, even Kamen Rider has done Lupin references.
If you're gonna have a cool detective, they're gonna reference Zenigata. Like the detective in Jet Set Radio, there's a little bit of Zenigata in them. Same thing with the detective in the Pokemon games, Detective Looker.
I'm pretty sure Gen from Kamen Rider Drive was based off of him. Now that I'm thinking about it,
I wonder what kind of influence Lupin has on Spike Spiegel.
There might be some. Like, you can kind of see it with the way Lupin came out 1969 in Japan, I'm pretty sure. Like it was in the 60s. It was one of the early mangas that really got like big. And in a way, you can kind of look at it as like its parallels and equals are Astro Boy, Speed Racer, Kamen Rider. Like, it's that significant of a manga in Japan.
And it really shows just to the quality to this movie and the quality to this franchise that, like, this is the number one Lupin thing I always hear about in the West. Like, occasionally people talk about the manga or the TV show, but not to any real depth. People fucking love this movie. It's an all-time classic to anime fans. And, like, seeing it now, I get it. Like, there were moments in this movie where I was watching it and I was just like, I just want to melt into this movie. I just want to exist in this world. Can I be Lupin? Can I consume Lupin and then be Lupin, please?
The only thing about this is I watched the dub. What, it wasn't the dub I had originally watched, because the original dub I watched, Lupin was voiced by David Hayter.
I'm pretty sure that's not the dub I watched.
Yeah, no. If you don't know who David Hayter is, he is Solid Snake.
I watched mine on Amazon.
Yeah, it's probably a newer dub, so I think they redubbed it recently.
That's possible. My dub sounded old as shit, but like in a good way. I don't know. I mean, it's an early anime film that's popular in the West, and it's associated with Hayao Miyazaki, so it's probably had like 5 dubs, and the most easily available one is the Disney one.
Yeah. But even Disney only had Ghibli. They never had this, because this isn't a Ghibli film.
Oh.
But yeah. Oh. I'm glad I got to share Lupin the Third, because I'm a big fan of it, and there's not a ton of people who can just go like, yeah, no, I'm a big fan of Lupin the Third. You either hear of it or you see one thing and go, okay.
Yeah. Thank you, man. I will check out more of this at some point.
Oh, for sure. I don't know, man. It's hard to say like too much. I mean, it's not hard. It's just like a fucking wonderful movie. Like, even as like, just to like look at it as like a single package by itself, like, it's great to just take and consume, and it's just filling, you know.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, I think that's everything everyone wants to say. So do we want to go ahead and find out what we'll be talking about next week?
Sure.
All right. I am spinning the wheel now.
But also found out the David Hayter dub is the Manga Entertainment dub, and Manga Entertainment isn't around anymore, so that's why it's probably harder to find.
So this guy. Oh, fuck.
Oh, God.
Cody, I'm sorry. You might want to take next week off, because we're talking about Kamen Rider Amazon's Season 2.
Oh, God, we gotta fucking...
Because
there's so much to watch.
I know, but you said you wanted it on the list because it was the only way you'd watch it.
Can we just skip it this week? Because I have so much I need to do already.
I mean, all right, we don't have a big audience, so I don't think they'll get pissed, but... Okay, here we go again.
Respin it. Nice.
Oh, Jesus. All right, okay, that's much better. That's much better. Next week, we are going to be discussing something I put on the list, and it is my personal favorite Tom Hanks movie, a very underrated and obscure film called The Terminal. which is about a guy from a Middle Eastern country who comes to New York, and then war erupts in his country, so he gets trapped in the airport.
They made a movie about that?
Yeah. And this was in the mid-2000s.
What the dude, I know I was like watching YouTube videos about that like 2 days ago.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even know a movie existed. Why? That's so random. That's interesting.
It's a legitimately great film. I can't wait to hear what you guys have to say about it.
I have seen it once before.
Ooh.
Wow. Well, aren't you special, Chris?
I'm trying to gauge by the tone of that what your opinion of it already is, but don't tell me. Hey, Chris, shut up and tell me about AEW this week.
It was so good. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. Like, legitimately, I cannot believe how good and fun all of their political spoofing is. Because I'm fucking used to WWE doing that and it being like basic bitch, casual crash shit. And this week they did something that was extremely tasteless and crass and oh boy, I don't even want to. I'm gonna seal that can of worms right back up. But MJF running for AEW World Champion and Chris Jericho and Orange Cassidy having a debate moderated by fucking Eazy-E of all people. Mwah.
It was so good. The debate was fantastic. It really showed, it basically painted the giant arrow and go like, all right, all you people complaining about Orange Cassidy saying there's not much life here. Here's his gimmick. Stop complaining. The 6-man tag, the like 12-man tag.
Oh my god.
Fantastic.
That was some of the best character work I've ever seen in wrestling.
Anna Jay is still officially confirmed for Dark Order. That's fucking great.
Yeah, I love how they're playing into the whole Gimp mask comparison by just having her dressed like a dominatrix.
Best friend Santana Ortiz feud is fucking heating up, and I can't wait for it.
I like legitimately. I love that all three of those guys are getting a push, and that it's not just being done on Orange's strength alone. Like they're putting a lot of stock in Trent and Chuck.
And what else was it? Oh, Sammy and Matt Hardy fucking going at it.
Yeah. Apparently he wasn't supposed to get busted open and Sammy got a talking to for that. But like it was good television and Matt's fine, so I'm not too upset about it.
I'm not upset about it, but I do think because of it lessened the impact of blood in the main event.
Mm-hmm.
Because oh boy, that main event. For a match that only had like a couple weeks build, fuck dude, that was heartbreaking.
I legitimately was tearing up as Mox was cradling Darby in his arms after he got the win.
Because he just sees himself there and it's like, oh shit, I may have like taken a year off this kid.
Yeah, I love that he's like trying to they have like this love affair mentor student relationship that can be read as so many different things. And like that's beautiful storytelling. I hope Mox is in AEW for a long ass time because we know Darby's gonna be, but like if this relationship can continue to develop and change and grow till like up until the end of Mox's career, that could potentially be one of the best stories in wrestling ever.
Yeah, but it was so fantastic. The never give up. MJF trying to fucking get Mox out, and it's just like so good. A lot of
Did you see he stole Brian Myers' toy belt?
Yes.
So good.
Did he like train MJF?
Yes.
Perfect.
A lot of the younger stars from in AEW right now are actually from Brian Myers' school that he runs with Pat Buck.
That's cool.
Like Chris Statlander came out of there. Jungle Boy didn't primarily train there, but he did come there a couple times.
Yeah, but also
And
Jungle Boy was from the LA area. He's in that school's up in like the New York, Long Island area.
yeah, and Reynolds and Silver are from there, which they got a fucking amazing match this week. Like it obviously was dwarfed by a lot of other things, but I legitimately enjoyed that match, not just for Cardona debuting. Like there was so much going on there, establishing his and Cody's friendship, putting Silver and Reynolds over as actual legitimate wrestlers, and then like setting up Cody versus Scorpio Sky, which is something I didn't know I wanted till this week, but now I'm just like, yes, please inject that shit right into my veins.
But also showcases why they are also in the Dark Order when the Dark Order has a major tag team, because they're two different types of tag teams.
Yeah.
Because Evil Uno and Stu Grayson are kind of like brawlers and bruisers, while the other guys, no, they're flyers.
Mm-hmm. It was a good night, and I'm excited. You know what else was fun? Before I move on from this, you know what else was great? Them, fucking what's his name? Taz, constantly reminding you on commentary that there's still stuff going on with his team of guys. Like they're banned right now, and they're trying to find a way back in.
Yeah.
And then you know, it was short and there wasn't much to it, but I did enjoy the little bit of Swole Baker build we got this week.
Yeah. That was really good. I need to go and actually watch Dark and the tag team tournament, but
yeah, it's one of those things where I definitely will get to it. It's just there's so much other shit going on right now.
But also apparently they stopped bussing in jobbers, and basically people are going like, oh, maybe Dark's starting to do more storyline stuff again.
Mm-hmm. And another thing about this week is like, I don't know about you, but I was actually checking the crowd for shit that was going on. And like there wasn't much other than the usual chicanery we've already picked up on, but I did notice that Sheeta, because every night she's not had a match, Sheeta has been in the crowd. And like she is doing some of the best selling of reactions to what is going on, and not in like a goofy eye for an eye, are you kidding me kind of stuff that's going on in WWE of the roster just trolling each other. Like she's legitimately selling it like a babyface champion when a heel does something shitty. Like she's like shocked and then she's mad, and I'm like, damn, you're actually a really good actor. I want them to do even more with you.
And you also always have the Gun Club.
Mm-hmm. Those wonderful boys.
Yeah, that was AEW, and who boy is good.
Yeah. So let's get on to some weekly vibes, and I've usually been throwing to Cody first, but this week let's change it up. Chris, what you got going on?
I've just been reading a bunch of comics. Namely, I read 2 DC books.
Oh,
I read the Terrifics.
God damn.
So the Terrifics stars Mr. Terrific, who's a very smart scientist guy, a Plastic Man, who's a stretchy dude, Metamorpho, who's kind of like a Rocky kind of guy, and Phantom Girl, who can kind of turn intangible, invisible kind of stuff. And they go on cool sci-fi adventures and shit.
Yeah, it was DC during Rebirth going, oh hey Marvel, you're not doing a Fantastic Four book because you're bitter over movie rights. All right, let's troll you and do a Fantastic Four book of our own.
It's actually pretty good. And it feels distinctive enough that it's not just a Fantastic Four ripoff.
I do love Metamorpho as a character and Plastic.
Oh, he's great. They're both like they have a great relationship in it because like they're both shapeshifters, so they give each other shit all the time.
Like legitimately everyone on that roster is someone in DC who I'm like, I like what I've seen of you, but I've never read one of your own stories. I need to do that.
The Terrifics is a good starting place, like because it's just solid.
Fair enough.
They do some multiverse shit at some point in the book. Bizarro becomes a part of the team, makes his own anti-Terrifics called the Terribles.
Glorious.
No, it's really good. It's solid. They do have their own Doctor Doom
Oh,
called Doctor Dread.
is it just like Judge Dredd in a cloak?
No, it's a caveman who got unmelted and fell in love with a girl but couldn't get her, so he went and turned evil.
Yes.
Yeah, no, it gets weird. But no, it's solid, and they do a lot of cool things with just like paneling and layout of the comic. Like, there's a couple issues where each page is 4 panels, and each panel is correspondent to one character. And if they're in the same scene, it's one panel. It's not 2 panels. So it's really kind of cool. But the other major book I read was a DC book. I read Doomsday Clock.
Ooh.
Oh, goddamn.
It was pretty cool. I liked it.
Whoa. Okay. I'm here to listen. I'm here to listen because all I've heard is this book is shit. Don't read it.
Okay. Here's the thing. You also got to remember, I'm the kind of guy who can fully accept the Clone Saga as pretty okay.
That is fair.
So you got to take that grain of salt. Doomsday Clock is not a sequel to Watchmen.
All right.
Don't read it as a sequel to Watchmen. It is a DC event featuring DC characters and these Watchmen characters. It deals with topics and themes from Watchmen, yes, but like where Watchmen is, real people superheroes are a dumb idea because real people are assholes. Doomsday Clock is saying, yeah, but we're not dealing with real people. We're dealing with fucking Superman. And basically saying, it doesn't matter if real people are dicks. Superman's not. We don't have to worry about that.
Interesting.
It is not a sequel to Watchmen. It is a counterpoint of basically saying, hey, we don't need to be gritty and assholes and nihilistic anymore in comics. Because ultimately, what happens is, at the end of Watchmen, Dr. Manhattan goes like, all right, I'll go find my own universe, whatever, and all that kind of stuff. And he eventually finds the DC universe. And he sees all the goings on, and he goes like, this is cool. And he starts noticing the time repeats itself. And every once in a while, things disappear, and they reappear. He's noticing the crises. And he goes like, wait a second. What if I did something to change things? So what he did was he moved the original Green Lantern's lantern 6 inches away so he didn't become the Green Lantern. So the JSA isn't formed. So the original, like, World War II superheroes don't happen. And then all the shit happens. And then eventually Superman becomes the new 52 Superman. Cold, distant. And Dr. Manhattan goes like, hey, this is a Superman I can relate to. I see myself in him.
So they're blaming 52 on Dr. Manhattan.
Essentially, that is the in-universe reason why the new 52 happened.
Okay, because I literally never followed up on that.
And essentially, but they do follow up on the dude with the genie from JSA and Saturn Girl. Because they're big players in this comic. And basically, the whole point of the comic is pre-New 52 Superman is the current Superman in the universe. We know that from all the other bullshit that they've been doing.
Yeah.
And basically, everybody in the world is going like, all these super people are government conspiracies to try and combat Superman and all this kind of stuff. The Superman theory, blah, blah, blah. And everybody's going like, nah, it's bullshit. But all these different super beings from all these different countries are going like, no, it's a thing. We got to fight, blah, blah, blah. And it's not like Dr. Manhattan's purposely manipulating it that way. It's more of like the one thing Dr. Manhattan changed kind of is leading to this. And Superman, pre-New 52. So this is a Superman unaffected by Dr. Manhattan now. Kind, gentle, that kind of Superman is basically runs into Dr. Manhattan and goes, "Who the fuck are you? What's going on?" And they kind of have like, through narration, that internal dialogue of like, what is the difference between these two characters? And Dr. Manhattan, the whole time, has been seeing a vision of the future where he just sees Superman running at him, fist clenched, like he's about to punch him. But then, when the event actually happens, Superman punches a person who's right behind Dr. Manhattan, and he just looks at Dr. Manhattan and says, "You gotta wake up. Either leave or help me. Either leave, help me, or if you're gonna fight me, fight me." And Dr. Manhattan goes like, I didn't think of this was a possibility. And his entire worldview kind of shatters as he realizes what the key to the universe is. It's Superman. Yes, the things happened before Superman, but Superman is the catalyst. And if you make Superman kind of shitty person, the stuff around him's a shitty person. You know?
So it's basically a massive thematic crescendo for what was set up in DC Rebirth #1.
Yes. Because eventually Dr. Manhattan goes, like, something happens and it's fixed. And now the JSA and the Legion of Superheroes come back. And it's this big, like, heroic moment. And it's, like, glorious and, like, all this kind of stuff. And, like, the old dude's been going, like, "Oh, man, I miss my genie from the bottle." And then he hears a voice and goes, like, "Oh, come on, Jimmy. I haven't been around in forever. You're the genie now." And he goes like, "Right." And he turns into a fucking genie. And Saturn Girl gets all her future heroes back. And it's like, oh, this is really cool. It is a giant condemnation of everything of basically like superheroes are dumb because people are shit. It's like, no, people aren't shit because Superman exists. Clark Kent exists.
Man, that sounds real fucking neato. I want to read that now.
And but Dr. Manhattan goes like, "Know what? Yeah, I did kind of fuck up." He goes back in time and basically puts the Grant Lantern back. And like, there's this other like ongoing side story where he's talking to this old Hollywood actor, and he dies after one of the films because it turns out he was being blackmailed for being gay, and like he got killed because of it. Dr. Manhattan goes back to his last meeting with the guy and goes like, "Hey, yeah, I've been kind of a shit friend all your life, but I just want to leave you with like one of the advice: don't be afraid of who you are." And so the actor comes out as gay and he gets no work for a little bit, but then in the 60s he comes back, and then you see like this clip far in the future is like, oh, in the 2000s he's married and living with his partner, and he died happy and fulfilled. And it's like, oh, that's sweet. That's cool. Like all this kind of stuff. And then Dr. Manhattan goes on, basically, in 10 years, Superman will be rebooted. In 10 more years, he will be rebooted. This time he has a brother. And then he basically goes like, the year is 21 blank. Superman arrives on Earth. The year is this. Superman arrives on Earth. Basically saying DC will continue reboot, so every generation of people, of readers, will have their own Superman that reflects them.
Like, that you telling me that that's what happens in the comic is legitimately giving me warm and fuzzies, so I can only imagine how awesome it is to read that.
Especially because it's Dr. Manhattan, cold and calculating, basically learning the meaning of hope from Superman.
It sounds pretty cool. Like, it's also like a really nice, like, look, if you look, like, people in like 4,000 years can be like, whoa, DC's fucking ridiculously smart. Look what they did. Like,
but like they also say like the year is 3000, which is the year the Legion of Superheroes is supposed to take place. Humanity has reached a point where we are Superman, where we are Clark Kent. We are that kind of good.
That's awesome.
Where that kind of thing. But then Dr. Manhattan also goes like, yeah, but there's also a bunch of problems they have to face. And he talks about like, there's this crisis and then there's this crisis. In the year 2030, there's Secret Crisis, where Superman battles a green behemoth and the literal god of thunder.
Bro.
And it's just like, oh, that's a cool Marvel reference. I like that. And basically, that's the whole point. It's basically saying superheroes are good people because they're good people, and they are reflections of what we want in the world.
That's like, oh man, we were just talking about that a few weeks ago with New Frontier, but like that's what I love about DC so much, is it always comes around to this is about setting an example, not showing a mirror.
And like, here's the thing, Ozymandias has been in the book the whole time, and he's been fucking douchebag Ozymandias, for the greater good, I will commit sins and all that kind of stuff. And at the end, we have this new Rorschach, and he's basically one of the people who was traumatized by the giant squid thing. And then the Watchmen. Okay?
Uh-huh.
And at the end, the whole book, he's going like, I'm Rorschach, and all this different kind of things. Like, I'm not worried. Like, he goes through this whole character arc. And at the end, you think, oh, it's Watchmen. He's going to kill Ozymandias. No. He goes, you're going to jail. You are going to face your crimes. He becomes a good hero. Like,
Dude.
So that's what I'm saying. It's not a Watchmen sequel. It is using Watchmen as a counterpoint for what DC is.
Which is what Watchmen originally was supposed to be.
Yeah.
Sounds pretty neat to me.
There's also another really cool element, because there's these two bad guys called Mime and Mannequin throughout the whole book.
Yeah, I've seen figures of them at comic stores.
Yeah. So Ozymandias gets them because he thinks, oh, they have some emotional connection to Dr. Manhattan. Maybe they can help me convince him to come back and help save the world. That's Ozymandias' plan. And here's the thing. Ozymandias didn't save Mime and Mimic because, oh, she's pregnant and I can't take that life. Because here's the thing. Dr. Manhattan doesn't give a fuck. Remember Watchmen? He let comedian kill a person with a baby. It's because he knew that their baby that they had to give up because they were criminals and put up for adoption would make Silk Spectre and Night Owl, when they make new civilian identities and not be superheroes anymore, happy because they adopted the child. Okay, so he was like looking at that. And he looks at that and he realizes, wait a second, I know why I actually saved them. I was blinded by my nihilism, but now I see hope. So he takes the child and he basically raises him for like 6-7 years. And then Dr. Manhattan gives up his form, gives up his powers, puts them in the kid, and sends the kid off to them to be raised as a good person. And their biological daughter opens the door and goes like, hey, who are you? And you see a little kid in a nice little suit with a Dr. Manhattan symbol on his forehead. And he says, hi, my name is Clark. John said that you welcome me here.
That's beautiful.
It gave Watchmen a good happy ending by giving them Superman.
Oh, that's so good. That's so good. I can't wait to hear Linkar talk about how it's so shit next year. Legitimately, I wanted to throw my computer after watching his fucking Heroes in Crisis review.
I mean, from what he's described, it didn't sound like a great story.
It's not meant to be. I don't want to get in that argument tonight. I'm trying to stay in a good mood.
But yeah, that's Doomsday Clock.
Awesome. Well, Cody, what do you got?
Well, as far as like media and stuff like that, I watched a crazy 1973 era trippy movie that I expected to be completely incohesive and crazy, and instead it was actually super thematic and very cohesive.
Legit.
I forgot what it's called. No, it was called the. Nope, I forgot what it's called. And I mean that was neat. I started playing the Avengers beta, which is neat. Also, it's really good at doing the Hulk. A lot of fun with that. I started playing a game called Fall Guys. Is my new craze. I fucking love it. It's adorable and perfect and nice, and it's a battle royale, but it's like a ninja warrior thing, or like it's just an obstacle course. And if you can make it to the end, you win. You know.
A battle royale platformer.
Almost. You have to look up stuff about it. But the crazy thing, and this is where I'm going to be talking about my Friday, which is today. So
Yesterday.
no, today still.
Oh,
Fuck
shit.
you. For me, today still.
Oh,
It's
wow.
11:48. I might even be done within the day. So today was supposed to be a Black Lives Matter rally, the second one of my town, at the courthouse. In response to that, there was a counter protest created by some alt-right individuals and assholes and your general fucks. And to avoid, because there were people inciting violence online, to avoid that, the BLM protest was moved to the government complex up the road from my house, which is where they're doing early voting. And like nothing bad happened per se, but to start the day off, I just saw nothing. I was just getting pissed off all day because I saw nothing but like I was at the last BLM protest and I saw like people just yelling at us from the street. And when you had people near the street, nobody was really honking. There'd be like one or two people honking and like being like, "Yeah, you go, guys." And I mean, yeah, I live in a southern redneck town, but like still, like seeing all these like flags and shit, and like knowing what these people are representing, that shit started like it was just nothing but like all the big yee trucks with all the Trump stuff all over the place, and it's crazy and wild, and annoying. But then like I'm starting to notice like these weird things happening, and then I have people coming in, and I'm starting to see like the Klan is showing up in my town at this rally. And of course they're not chased away; they're welcomed there, you know. And then I'm just like standing outside of my store because, by the way, this is a block away from my work. It's like within. I witnessed the whole thing from my job. I'm standing there and I'm just watching these people, and I'm seeing like bikers ride by doing the Nazi salute and shit like that, and I'm just getting more and more pissed off. I'm like, this is disgusting, you know. And then while I was with while another customer came in and he was just talking about how crazy everything was, and he's like, "Yeah, I can't believe the people are out there with their white sheets and all." We're talking to each other, and then all of a fucking sudden, a couple ambulances drive by, whatever, sirens blare and cars pull over. Then another fucking ambulance drives by, and we both catch it, and the motherfucker's on fire, just gunning it down the road. Like, I don't even know. I've never seen anything like it, but like the whole area you just couldn't see because of the smoke that was left behind from this ambulance. Like, I'm so interested to find out what the fuck was going on, if like Ghost Rider just grabbed something or like what, like I don't even know what the circumstances of that to be all right would be. Like, did they have a patient in the back that they needed to get to the hospital and they're also on fire? Like, what the fuck, Then shortly later that day, people came in demanding us, like they came in demanding us to serve them. They didn't have a mask on. And we're like, "Hey, this is a business. You can't be in here without a mask." And he's like, "Nah, I had back surgery." And then like before, like we were just like, "Oh well, you're gonna have to like step outside or something like that." And then he just starts going crazy. Um, and he starts throwing HIPAA stuff around, and they threatened to call the cops on us because we won't serve them. And we're like, we literally told him, we're like, listen, we're willing to serve you, but you're not like gonna work with us at all. Like, you could send her in to like just because like neither one of them had masks on. We're like, you could send her in, do whatever, you know, or you could stand outside or something. We don't want to call the cops because there's no reason for it to be escalated to that, and it's not going to end the way you think. So, you know, like, let's just avoid this and like blah blah blah. And then they just start going insane. They go outside, wait in the car. The police get here. Dude, it was like a comedy, man. I was like watching the conversation through the window, and I couldn't even see the cops' faces, but like their body language, they're like kicking the dirt and like walk up to the guy, and like he's just like raging, and like you could just tell they're like, well, they didn't do anything illegal. You're the one that's doing the illegal shit. You can't do this. And they come inside and they're like, so, you know, and we're like, yeah, we know. Like, like, and he's like, so the guy said, like, he's like, did he show you his back thing? And we're like, yeah, he showed us the back thing. Like, and we're like, it doesn't matter. We have rules. We can't have people in here without like certain restrictions. We tried to give him different options. He like the wife doesn't have anything wrong with her, but she's not wearing a mask either. And so apparently all that was a smokescreen. The cops didn't know that, and they didn't have to find that out. Because like after the cops pretty much told them, they're like, yeah, you could either do it this way or you have to leave. And then they left, and they were fucking pissed. And my God, did it feel great. My God, it felt so good, dude. Because like we were all like, we're like, if you like, because they're like, well, we're gonna call the cops. We're like, go ahead, like just go ahead. Like,
Cody, I love how you heard the idea of it's no longer what we've been doing, but weekly vibes. It can be anything that we've just been really passionate about this week. And you decided to come in and tell a horror story that turns into the feel-good movie of the summer.
like, I knew I had to talk about it today, and I'm like, dude, there's like no, like if this day didn't happen, it'd just be about like some action figures or something. But like, for fuck's sake, man, like I as work was ending, I'm like, I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going to any store. I'm going fucking home. Like, I'm not letting any other crazy shit happen today. Like,
I need all of the booze.
like, because like, so the crazier thing is, I call the other store and I'm like, yo, they just drove off in your direction. Here's the story, and they're like, oh, we know. And I'm like, well, excuse me. They're like, yeah, Crescent City called us. They like, so they went to Crescent City. And they had to use the panic button at Crescent City because they were threatening to like fight the employee. And what I found out is Crescent City was also being super lenient. They're like, listen, if you don't want to wear a mask, that's fine. If you're saying you can't, that's fine. You just can't be in here with the other customers. We're at max capacity. If you could wait outside while we treat or like serve these people, then we could serve you and like give you the store to yourself since you don't want to wear a mask. That's above it. They're not even supposed to do that. That's above and beyond everything, trying to accommodate this customer. And he wanted to start a fight about it. Then they come to our store and they were acted surprised when we said the same shit. Then they go to the other store, right? They go to the third location now. And Zully locks the door. The ASM over there, she locks the door and doesn't let them in. And at first we were like, oh shit, that's not allowed. But apparently it is because they were at max capacity and they were trying to come into the store and they're like, no, we're at max capacity. You can't come in here. You have to wear a mask. So then this couple calls our customer service, like corporate headquarters, only to be told again for like the 18th time by like the 18th person, oh yeah, no, that's completely legal. They're not doing anything illegal. You like businesses reserve a right to not serve you, and you can't go in without a mask. It's corporate rules, whatever. And then they fucking storm off. Like these entitled, gross pieces of shit. Like I'm so glad I got to see all day, like these entitled, gross pieces of shit riding around the front of my house, like front of my store, and just being gross and just. It's cool to be the Klan or Nazis or whatever. Fuck them. And then I get that coming into my store and I get to fucking eat it alive and just watch them like shrivel around in their sorrow. Like, meh, I can't fucking do. You gotta serve me, dude. They did have a nice service dog though. But anyways, that was over. It was whatever. The BLM protest at the voting thing had an amazing turnout. It was peaceful again, of fucking course. And it was great, Oh, also, by the way, there's a really funny picture going around. I'll see if I can't post it later. Everyone at the BLM, everyone's wearing a mask. Everyone at this alt-right rally, there's a picture of probably like 50, 60 people, and you can't even zoom in and find one unless you see a cop. Like,
It's almost like one side is intelligent and one side are complete idiots.
I mean, yeah.
Oh, did I actually say that on air? I am so sorry for saying something that might offend people and get our company in bad public standing. I don't even care. We're not actually a fucking company. We're just free jackwads on the internet. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Hey, the monetary sum of 3 jackwads is yet to be disclosed. So, who knows what that's worth.
That's true. That's true. It's entirely true.
It's worth a crusty sock.
Chris, I told you not to tell anybody about that. I swear to
God. Jesus.
Zach, how about you?
Well, okay, so I spent this week doing an unhealthy amount of toy hunting because I was desperately trying to find the first wave of AEW figures, and I'm not mad about not being able to find them because it seems like a lot of people are just legitimately wanting to find them for their collections. It's not like scalpers. And the company is being very transparent on Twitter about like, look, we're having shipping problems. Walmart's being kind of fucky, but we're trying our best to get them out. And I was still getting frustrated because I was checking Walmart's like 3 times a day towards the end of the week, and I ended up almost having like a mental episode at work because I was already pissed off that a Walmart had told me they were going to get some in, and then they didn't have some in that day, and then I came in and it was just a really shitty morning at work too. So I had to deal with that and beat some shit back, but I went into that Walmart later that day and I was still feeling really shitty, and they had restocked on basically every Hasbro line, and I was kind of like, you know what? It's the end of the week. I'm gonna get paid tomorrow. And then I didn't end up getting paid tomorrow. Ask me about that off recording, guys. But I was like, you know what? I'm going to get paid tomorrow. I've got the credit card now. I was planning to use it if I found the AEW figures today and then just pay it off tomorrow. I just need a win. So I bought the entire first wave of classified series. I got all the figures I wanted from the newest wave of Power Rangers Lightning collection. I got Retro Card Marvel Legends Electro. And I got Earthrise Snapdragon Rung, and I went to a Target a little later in that day, and they had Pounce and Wingspan already clearanced. So they would have been $15. I got them for $12.
Pounce and Wingspan.
The clones.
Oh.
Yeah.
I already own one of each of those, and they're
Yeah. But I basically spent the last 24 hours simping for Hasbro, and you know what? It's been quite the lovely experience because I also got reacquainted with some G.I. Joe media. I hadn't seen basically any G.I. Joe in a few years, so I went and rewatched Retaliation for the first time since the theater, and like, I think I just blocked it out at the time because I wasn't into the kind of thing that it is, but that is a damn good movie. Like it's a wonderfully cheesy macho action film, and that's exactly what G.I. Joe needs to be. And then fucking like the classified series, there's no like, it sounds hyperbolic saying this, but there's no other way to put it. They are the best 6-inch action figures ever made. Like, they blow everything on the market out of the water right now.
Ooh, ever made. They're really good. They're the best right now at the price point for sure. You
What would you
probably
say is
can't
better
say
than them?
ever made.
What would you say is better than them? Fuck Mezco.
Like, there's been other cool lines throughout the years.
But
Like,
can you think of anything that in the modern age has this level of articulation, sculpt, and paintwork that isn't bogged down by fucking soft goods?
3 3/4 inch. Or you said.
I said 6-inch.
I don't know. All the McFarlane stuff's pretty good. Fucking Jazzware stuff's been pretty neat. The Black Series stuff is pretty good. Some of those are really hit and miss.
Okay, here's the thing. It's all really good, but these are damn good.
No, yeah, they all are really great. But like, do be careful with like rose tinted glasses, because like as great as they are, it's also like this is all of Hasbro's new tech rolled into like their homegrown line.
Yeah. And like, I think that's what makes it so good is it's taking all these disparate elements from other lines and all these little aesthetic cues from all parts of G.I. Joe and throwing it all together in a blender. It's kind of like Hasbro saying, okay, what is the ultimate fusion of everything good we've ever done? And as a admitted Hasbro fanboy, I think it's glorious. Like, just going through them in number order. Roadblock. I thought Roadblock was going to be a brick of a figure because of the the limited chest articulation, and the fact that he only comes with one gun that you can only hold a certain way. But like, there's a lot of shit you can still get done with him. There's a lot of personality in the sculpt, and he's just a big, solid, beefy boy that they can use for a lot of other big, solid, beefy boys going down the line. Snake Eyes, like,
That's probably one of the best action figures.
It's I think it's a solid contender for best 6-inch action figure ever made. It's such a perfect Snake Eyes sculpt. Literally the only thing I would change about it is painting the visor silver, but I get that they went for such a plain color scheme because they wanted to homage the original toy, and I think it works. It's really great, and there's lots of cool little characterful details and callbacks. Like his chest and arms are a bodysuit with little bits of armor all over them, which is the same kind of thing he was wearing in Retaliation. He's got a pistol with a silencer, which is like a perfect weapon for Snake Eyes. He doesn't come with the Uzi, but he comes with a more futuristic looking gun that's the same shape as an Uzi, so it works in my opinion. And like, I love that he's got the commando pants, but then you get down to his boots and he's got like very subtle ninja toes. It's mwah, mwah.
Now, most of the Hasbro or most of the G.I. Joe weapons are based off of Nerf guns, except for like Roadblock's big thing.
Yeah, and you and I have talked about this privately, but I fucking love that. I get why older collectors are pissed off about it, because like, oh, you're used to G.I. Joe having realistic weapons. But for me, it's such a nice like brand synergistic touch that also helps G.I. Joe as a franchise, because it's not tying it down to this is a military thing. This is a sci-fi paramilitary thing.
Yeah. My only thing is pretty much like the $40 version of Snake Eyes versus this version of Snake Eyes. Yeah, it comes with like some extra accessories. That's to be expected. But what I didn't realize is on that version, the Uzi and the Beretta that he comes with, the suppressor can go on either. And I mean, it's a super nitpick, but you can't put it on like the SMG. So it
That's fair.
kind of sucks, but like it is also just uberly good.
Yeah, that's
Scarlet's great.
oh my god, Scarlet. Legitimately, if they don't start using this buck on their other lines for female characters, I'ma get pissed off. I understand that the Hasbro teams don't really talk to each other much, but like comparing this to the standard female Marvel Legends buck, or even the one they have for Lightning Collection, because like I got Ranger Slayer this week, she's pretty nice, but putting her next to Scarlet is like I can't even make a comparison because it's just light years ahead of it. It has all the same articulation as the guys, except for she doesn't have bicep swivels, but she doesn't really need them. And like, I got a female 6-inch action figure to hold a pose where she's doing a high kick without a stand for 5 minutes. I never would have thought that possible before this year.
Yeah, like she's cool. Also, did you know that you could take like the little bowcaster thing off the gun?
It literally every time I touch it, it pops off on mine. That's my one gripe with her.
I didn't know it until Cole sent me a picture, and he's like, "What's this?" And I'm like, "I don't know. Let me look at mine." And like touched it, and it exploded.
Yeah,
she's cool, man. Like her armor is fucking dope. The colors, like it in package and early shots, did it such a disservice because like the way the blues pop and the yellows look, like I've not really seen color on things like this.
Now, how do you feel about the face sculpt? Because I've heard a lot of people complaining about how she looks younger.
Oh, I don't know. I got like I picked up 2 and like they look dope. I got one that looks like really dope. So I mean, I don't know. She looks like somebody in her like 30s, 20s, 30s, 20 like late 20s.
People keep saying she looks like she's right out of high school, and like I can kind of see it, but it looks fine to me. And also, okay, hear me out. Through the first 3 waves of this line, there's a natural story unfolding to me. Like, I can picture a show that is about these designs, and you have a pre-established G.I. Joe unit of Roadblock, Snake Eyes, and Duke. And for this mission, they're going to investigate an illegal munitions dealer named Destro. They get assigned a new member to their team, Scarlet. She just joined up with the Joes. Maybe she's a student of Snake Eyes that he convinced to enlist, but she's a little younger than the rest of them and a little less experienced, but she's still fully capable. And they track Destro as he's getting on a boat to this place called Cobra Island. And there they run into the Baroness, and they see these hordes and hordes of troops. And
it's Target exclusive.
Yeah, and there's fucking ninjas there as well that are more than a match for Snake Eyes. And then they see this guy called Cobra Commander give a speech, and they're like, what the fuck is this? We have to get back to base and report to command. And that's like the first 3 or 4 episodes of the show.
And Cobra's plot is to create this army of like Cobra bats that gets on their gaming PCs just so they could make sure to steal all the pre-orders for every fucking toy in existence.
Like, I'll be honest, I have by the quality of these figures, I was very tempted to just go on eBay and buy somebody's Baroness pre-order and like a couple of Cobra Troopers.
Dude, all right, so here's like the other thing. Most of these toys are pretty spot on. I love the classic design of Roadblock, and I think he's missing a bit. He's definitely like lacking the most, but at the same time, he's also bigger than everyone. It'd be dope if like we got like one more gun, or if like this gun if the gun separated, it'd be over. Like it'd be it.
Yeah, like make like the barrel disassemble into like maybe a what's the fucking word? A tripod for the rest of the gun. and then like have the rest of the gun be a rifle that he could also lie down and pose like it's a sniper rifle.
Yeah, something like that. I mean, I'm sure they will do stuff like that. But the other thing is that Duke should have probably came with a helmet because he literally has everything else that he's supposed to have.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
but a helmet.
Like
Yeah, that Jake Paul looking motherfucker.
I mean, like Duke is like the most divisive thing about GI Joe for me because in current year I kind of have a hard time with a white dude with a crew cut being the main character, but also I get it if they hadn't put him in there, longtime fans would have bitched incessantly. So it's just first wave, here he is, be happy. Um, but also like he's a great action figure too. I fucking got him in a pose where he's looking down the scope of his gun and firing it. That's something I've never been able to do with a 6-inch figure.
I got him to do that laying down in a sniper position.
Oh, I gotta try that. I love that he's got the GI Joe scar across his face because I know that's been done on other versions of Duke before, but like I just learned how integral that is to the franchise a couple weeks ago, so it like hits even harder for me now.
I don't know.
Real quick. Okay, I was about to ask if you knew what I was talking about, so let me flex some knowledge. Back in the 60s, when
You're
the
in the
original
garage with your knowledge.
Back in the 60s, when the original G.I. Joe 12-inch figures were a thing, they were getting knocked off like crazy. So, as a counterfeiting measure, an anti counterfeiting measure, Hasbro implemented two things to the face and body sculpt. The thumbs on the hands were inverted, so the nail was on the inside, and they put a scar across the left eye of all the Joes. And that's a thing that has been put on Duke several different lines as a homage to the original 12-inch figures.
That is dope.
Yeah.
The thumb thing is weird though. I'd fucking hate that, but that's dope.
Yeah. And like
I can't even imagine like having fingernails on the inside of your thumbs.
and the only one we haven't talked about yet is Destro, and like it is kind of just a 6-inch Destro, but also it's fucking Destro. It's one of the greatest villain designs of all time, in my opinion.
I
He's
don't have it yet.
glorious. Yeah. He is packed one per case, so
Oh, how many are the other ones in a case?
there's two of everyone except Destro.
What the?
Yeah.
Wait. So somebody definitely bought the Destro that was up there, and then Cole bought the other one. Son of a bitch, dude! I gotta have a fucking Destro. So, like, the other cool thing about that Destro, by the way, is my Sigma 6 Destro comes with almost identical accessories, except he also comes with a big missile launcher.
That's cool. And I mean, he is a legitimately great figure. I wasn't expecting the necklace to be a separate piece, so that's really fun that you have the option to take it off if you don't like it for some reason. And I dig the gun, the main black gun. I actually realized while I was messing around with him and something else I got, that he can use the effects parts from fucking what do you call them? War for Cybertron trilogy Transformers. Like if you have a blast effect from one of those Battle Masters, you can just jonk it onto the end of his gun.
Can all the guns do that? No.
Some of them can. It depends on the sculpt of the barrels. Like Snake Eyes' pistol can. I haven't found anything else though.
That's a nice touch, especially because they shoot lasers.
Yeah. And like I love that the briefcase can be used for multiple different setups or scenarios for photography, because it is just a very nice briefcase on the outside, but then on the inside you have both like a computer terminal for missile launch codes and stuff, and just a shit ton of money.
Yeah, it's dope. I don't know how dope it is, but it is dope.
Yeah. Um, it's just a it's such a solid first wave, and I understand now why people, even longtime Joe fans, are going like, yeah, this could be the only GI Joe line you ever need if you're a 6-inch person. Um, and as a 6-inch person, it's not the only GI Joe line I ever need. I'm also collecting Valor versus Venom because that was the GI Joe of my childhood. But these things are so fucking dope that like I'll probably just get all the GI Joe characters I like from this, and unless like 10 years goes by and they do more 6-inch figures that are even better than this, I don't think I'm going to be getting any more future GI Joe lines.
The only things I could say about that, um, I'm worried about some of the rubberized plastic on like Snake Eyes' armbands or Roadblock's body piece.
That is worrying, but like the same kind of material is also used on some current Marvel Legends, and I've not heard of problems with those yet.
That's because they're current. Like some of my original Toy Biz figures, like some of that shit melted together in room temperature conditions. Like plastic chemicals do. I mean, that is old stuff, but like sometimes like rubberized plastic breaks down. All the McFarlane figures, they have on their ab crunch or like on their like ab ball joint. There's like either like the midriff or the upper chest will be like kind of rubberized, so like the lip can like they could do natural bends, and it looks incredible in poses and stuff like that. You're like, wow, that's the best thing I've ever seen. But like, it still makes me worry. Like, will that break? Will that harden, stiffen? Whatever. Um, but I don't know. I mean, they are incredible. I just really need a Destro. I also really love how like just the Baroness package, everything about it. Like she has like a fucking helmeted head and all kinds of shit. Like that shit looks so cool.
Oh yeah, she looks dope.
And it also makes me excited to get some more vehicles. Give me a Trouble Bubble, please.
I mean, they did tease it on that initial poster, so I imagine it'll be coming fairly soon.
All of the vehicles were on the initial poster, so I was like, yeah, they might not do them all, but
give me. But also, I could see them doing, because Baroness is a deluxe release with a vehicle. I could see the next deluxe release with a vehicle being Cobra Officer with Trouble Bubble.
Oh God. Just buy 18.
Though I usually try to stay away from army building, but I'm probably going to get 3 of those Target Cobra Troopers, because there's 3 different looks you can do with the face, and like you can put that armband on one of them to make him like an officer.
That is some super attractive hot goodness. Yeah. They kind of do that with the battle droids a little bit, and I love that. God damn it, they're so good, dude. I cannot wait for the Cobra Bat. I'll fucking come. I love that. God damn it, they're so good, dude. I cannot wait for the Cobra Bat. I'll fucking come.
Oh my God.
There's 2 different designs for the Cobra Bat, by the way, in that video game they teased.
Yeah. Also, just to touch on a couple of the other Hasbro things I got this week. The new wave of Lightning Collection is pretty good overall. Billy is definitely, MMPR Blue is definitely just a kind of open it, put it in a pose and throw it on a shelf thing for me, but it looks good for what it is. Ranger Slayer is better than I was expecting her to be, but again, it's like, yeah, next to Scarlet, this line needs to step up on its female sculpt. Time Force Red is surprisingly great. Like, I don't care about that character that much, but like, he's got a ton of new parts. There's a new chest piece with different sculpted wrinkles. He comes with a really cool gun. He's got his morpher sculpted into his wrist, which is accurate to the costume. I love the swords, and he has an alternate hand where he's giving the thumbs up. I don't remember him ever doing that in like a big moment in the show, but that's a hand I can give to any Red Ranger that has red gloves now. So kind of great. And then retro-carded Electro, I was planning to get him and just throw him on the shelf because Spider-Man rogues are kind of like my main thing in Marvel Legends. But he's like a really great little figure, and I never noticed it until I had it in as a physical toy in my hands. But this costume design is just hilarious. Like I opened it up and I stood it up on the shelf, and I was legitimately laughing my ass off for 2 solid minutes.
Yeah,
I mean, a lot of old Spider-Man bad guys fit that mold.
big wheel.
Mhm. Yeah, that's the thing though. Is like I have this now, and I'm like, yeah, I've got Green Goblin and he's great, and yeah, I need to get the symbiotes because they're great, and I want to get that Sandman build a figure, but like Hasbro, give me more of these goofy looking motherfuckers now. You've given me an inch, I want a mile. Give me the wall, give me Big Wheel, give me the fucking Hypno Hustler. I want all those
Give
guys.
me Jackal. Have they made a Jackal?
They have.
That was a
Ooh.
Build-A-Figure. No, it was a figure.
No. Jackal is one of the few figures I've army built in the last couple of years because he also just makes a great generic baddie for your Tokusatsu figures.
But also, the Jackal clones himself.
Yeah. I've got 3 of them. Hang on.
See, I never got to army build anything ever before, really, either. That's why I love buying the Black Series. Oh yeah, I remember. Oh yeah, it's from the Sandman way.
Oh, I want a fuzzy Jackal.
It's fair.
Like, that's a contemporary Jackal. I want, like, if you do like that kind of Jackal, it needs to be the one with a leather jacket in the middle of Clone Saga.
I imagine they'll eventually do like a Clone Saga free pack of like a Spider-Man, a Gwen Stacy clone, and a
Ben
new
Reilly.
Jackal.
Dude, all I know is I need that retro carded Spider-Man, and I'll never fucking see it.
Yeah, I do kind of want that because apparently it's a new sculpt that's got better articulation than Pizza Spidey, but also it's not high priority because I have Pizza Spidey.
See, I don't have Pizza Spidey.
Ooh.
I do have 2099 Spider-Man, fucking Scarlet Spider-Man, a bunch of other Spider-Mans.
So you've got every Spider-Man but Peter.
Ben Reilly Spider-Man. Yeah, literally, yes.
Awesome.
I've been thinking of busting out a lot of my old figures and just started doing like toy photography. It's just because, fuck it.
That'd be dope.
Oh yeah, dude, I'm so fucking ready for that War Machine, dude. I just see pictures of the War Machine and the Iron Man standing together, and I'm just like, like
it looks so great.
I have 2099 classic Iron Man, and I'm waiting for that War Machine, dude. I'm just, like, they're gonna keep doing good Iron Man figures finally, and I'm just gonna keep fucking buying them, and I'm gonna have a Hull armor. I don't give a fuck.
Which War Machine is it? Like, which era?
It's the good one.
It's the first War Machine look. It's the one from the War Machine Origin we reviewed on this podcast.
Oh, so the classic War Machine.
Yeah, I showed you a picture a while ago, and you were like, that unhelmeted head is fucking glorious because of the fucking crop top or whatever it was. His hairdo.
Flat top.
Yes. I knew it was some kind of top. No. But we've been talking about toys for a solid half hour now, so probably about time to wrap up the podcast. So, Cody, tell everyone who you are and where they can find your shit.
I am Cody, and usually in this room that's adjacent from me, it's got a toilet in there and stuff like that. Not a Common Robo is something I plug every single time, and it's not the right thing ever. Never_robot is my Instagram. I post all kinds of random shit on there, literally just disgusting. There's a slug video on there. Go check that out, guys. There's a slug video. My Twitch is some form of snow cone. It's Snowcone83, no space. PlayStation is Snowcone83 with space. And my Xbox is Snowcone83, no space, capital S. And for everything else, it's one of them. So have fun.
I dig the variation. It covers a lot of areas that your brand needs to be a part of.
It's because I couldn't get it all the same.
Oh shit. Hey Chris,
Yo,
tell people who you are and where they can find you.
hi, I'm Chris. You can call me Boingo Rider. I'm on the YouTube. It's at Boingo Rider. The link's in the description. You can also search. That's a thing. I'm also on Twitter and Instagram at Boingo_Rider. And hey, do you want to join my Discord? Well, you're in luck.
Oh.
There's a
I can't believe you just fucking killed him on the podcast.
there's a link in the description.
Keep going.
That's about it.
Okay. Well, hello everyone. I am the Modular King of the Content Ring, the Vacuuminator, and I make videos on the YouTube, as most kids do these days. You can check them out at youtube.com/thevacuuminator. I've also got a presence on that Twitter and that Instagram, so you can check those out at the Vacuuminator. Really just engage with my brand. It helps me out and makes me feel valued as a member of society. But what makes me feel even more valued as a member of society is when you subscribe to the channel this podcast is on. That's Modular Media. So be sure to hit that subscribe button, ring the bell to enable notifications, give this video a like in order to help it out in the YouTube algorithm. Maybe give us a comment with your own thoughts on, I don't know, something we talked about tonight. Hey, while you're here, while I got you, do me a favor. Go and follow us on Twitter at The Modular Media and join our subreddit r/modular media. And hey, I hear you out there. You're complaining, you're whining, you're griping, you're going, I can't constantly engage with this. It's on YouTube. I don't always have the ability to listen to YouTube. I don't have YouTube Premium. Hey, guess what, friend? I've got a folder down in the video description on Google Drive of every podcast we've ever done as an MP3. You can download it. You can listen to it on the go without YouTube Premium. Did that just for you, old buddy, old pal. So get on it. And then come back here next week and join us when we'll be discussing The Terminal.